All right, the title for this message is The Keeper of the Gate. The Keeper of the Gate. I've been giving this series of messages on the pearly gates, the concept that we've discovered. I discovered that little verse, Revelation 21, verse 21. I've been going through that verse bit by bit to analyze it, to bring out the various parts of it. And today, we're looking at it from another point of view. And so the question comes to my mind, like last time we talked about ourselves being prepared to go before Christ in that day, to help us be, whenever we go before Him, how do we go before Him? We go to Him with a kind of a right attitude, of course, submission and honor, and want to give Him. It's our approach to Him, okay? That message. This message is turn it around, look the other way. Look at Christ's point of view toward us, if we can. And the other part of it is to ask the question, who has the power over the gate? May I show the picture of these gates? This is the same sign, different points of view, on a farm over here in Vero Beach. And when there's a sign that says, please keep gate closed, what does a gate represent? And I was noticing in the heading for gate, the word gate in the Vine's Expository Dictionary for Biblical Messages. It says the importance and strength of gates made them synonymous with power. The gates stood for those who hold government and administer justice there. Well, the owner of that land behind the gate has power over that gate. The sign represents a power that he has, or that whoever owns it has. Every gate that there is, if you had a gate on your property, you would have power over that gate. That it's to enter into your property or not. And you can tell somebody not to enter your property as well as to give them permission to, right? If they break in, come in, you can have them arrested because you have the authority over your land, right? Well, let's go to the sea gates, if you will. The sea gates is what God, we'll dial that up. It's coming. When God gave the promises to Abraham, one of the blessings He gave to Abraham was these gates. Your descendants will be the possessor of these gates. And there was Gibraltar is one of them. Hong Kong was one of them. Panama is one of them. There was these sea gates around the world that were blessings to Abraham and his descendants as indication of God's blessing to him, that his descendants would have such power in the world to manage it, if you will. Well, who gave him the power? God gave him the power. Who initiates that authority that He gave to Abraham and his descendants? To God gave it, right? So, who has the power when we enter into the pearly gates, if you will? Revelation 21:21, and we're entering in. Hopefully we enter into an area, the New Jerusalem, where Jesus is or will be, or however that works. How will you be welcomed in? Who has the power to say yea or nay? No, you can't enter in here. Why? Because you're not welcome here. Or, come right in, we're welcoming you. We want to see you. We've been waiting for years to see you. Right? Well, let's go to Romans 13. Romans 13. This is just a general kind of talk about when he's describing who has power over a government. Romans 13, if I could flip the pages here. In the NLT, no. Yeah, not the NLT, the New King James. Romans 13 and verse 1 to 3 says, "Let every soul be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except from God. And the authorities that exist are appointed by God. Therefore, whoever resists the authority resists the ordinance of God, and those who resist will bring judgment on themselves. For rulers are not a terror to good works, but to evil. Do you want to be unafraid of the authority? Do what is good, and you will have praise of the same." Well, who has the authority? God gives the authority over the governing people who rule. Who gives the authority over the gate? Okay, so let's go back to John 5 and verse 22. John 5 and verse 22. John 5 verse 22. This is a long episode here where Jesus is describing himself, but he has this one phrase here, "For the Father judges no one, but has committed all judgment to the Son." The Father gave the judgment to the Son. Jesus has the judgment on him. Why? Because God gave it to him. Okay? And then Acts 17 and verse 31. Acts 17 and verse 31. This completes a part of that sentence here, but it says, "Because he has appointed a day on which he will judge the world in righteousness by the man whom he has ordained." Who's the he? He is God the Father. Who's the man? Jesus Christ. He has given him, he has ordained him. He has assurance of this to all who He has given assurance of this to all by raising him from the dead. Who was raised from the dead? Jesus was raised from the dead. Who raised Jesus from the dead? God the Father raised him from the dead. So who has given Jesus the authority to rule? Who's given him the authority over the gate? God the Father gave him the authority to rule that. So who can stand in back of that gate and say, yes, you can come in, or no, you can't come in? So that's what we're trying to establish here. And the Believer's Commentary has this to say: the judgment referred to here will take place when Christ returns to earth to put down his enemies and begin his millennial reign. The positive assurance that this will take place is found in the fact that God raised the Lord from the dead. That was in support of Acts 17:31. So, we go back to these gates here. That's one gate, one sign, one gate. It's just two different pictures of it. And let's go back to Revelation 21. Revelation 21 and verse 21. This is our verse that we started with a long time ago. Verse 21, "And the 12 gates were 12 pearls. Each individual gate was of one pearl, and the street in the city was pure gold, like transparent glass." And went over each of those parts with us. But essentially, the individual pearl, the one pearl, singular pearl, had that connotation goes with it of the one who explains, the explainer, the revealer, or the expounder, going back to the old Greek words on that. So it had to be representing Jesus Christ. Well, then we're talking about the New Jerusalem here, and in verse 25 to 27, we see more about this gate. It says its gates, plural, shall not be shut at all by day. Well, that'll be a new day when the gates no longer have to be shut. Why won't there have to be any shutting of the gates? Because there won't be any unrighteous anymore. And there shall be, it says, all by day, and there will be no night there. Well, if there's no night there, and it's always day, and it's never going to be shut. So it's always open. And they shall bring the glory and the honor of the nations into it. Wow! Because all the nations are going to be made right. Won't they? In order to fulfill that, there won't be any renegade nations anymore. Won't that be a day? But there shall by no means enter it anything that defiles, or causes an abomination or a lie. Now, won't that be a special day when that comes about? I can't wait. Can't we do it tomorrow? But only those who are written in the Lamb's book of life, they will enter in. Oh. Are you looking forward to being one of those who gets to enter in? Because there'll be, your name is written in the Lamb's book of life. Isn't that where we want to be?